If you're looking for a large home with room for the entire family in one of the highest rated school districts in the state of Ohio, this video is for you. I'm going to show you around a brand new model home and this stunning new construction home for sale behind me in one of the most sought after communities in the Columbus, Ohio suburbs. So here is the first home we're going to look at today. This is the brand new model home, just opened a couple weeks ago, and excited to get to show it to you. They had a previous model home, but they had sold out of the homes in that particular neighborhood that's part of Jerome Village. So now they have this new neighborhood, part of Jerome Village. So they just opened this model home. So you got a great front porch here at the front of the home. Obviously a great spot to, be able to put a bench, put some seating out. Really, really nice. I am so excited to get to show you around the home. And I also want to share a little bit of insight that I learned just right before I was filming this. I was actually in a little meeting they had here. Nice coat closet at the front of the home here. And afterwards I was talking with their director of sales, and he shared some really cool insight with me that I want to share with you a little bit later on in this home tour, because I think it's extremely relevant based on what I hear from pretty much every single person who contacts me. Unless someone actually has to buy like right now for a reason, almost everyone is saying the same thing. They're asking about rates, they're asking about the market, and they are, in a general sense, oftentimes people want to wait. They're wanting to wait for rates to go down because they want to save money on their mortgage, which who wouldn't? But I have some insider information that I think will be extremely relevant to you, especially if you've been on the fence about whether you want to buy now or you wait a little bit to see if rates will drop. So stick around a little bit later and I will go over that with you. I love how they did the doors here. Really cool, by the way. All right, so here is the living room. Now, I didn't go tour the entire home, but I was in this area earlier today, like I said, for that little seminar that they were doing. I'm always looking to sharpen my skills, so I was in here learning more about their process. I've actually been to one of them in the past, but they had some different people at this one who I hadn't heard before, so I wanted to come and be able to hear and learn from them as well. And I tell you what, I learned so much. Even though I study this stuff, I study new construction homes all the time and marketing for real estate, and I still was learning new stuff, so love it. But really cool. This is an actual TV, that's not a prop. They did actually have slides on it earlier, but this is such a nice room. Love the 3 windows there. Obviously they have some really fun furniture here in the room. And you guys are probably thinking when you see the model homes, like you might be watching for design ideas too, right? Because there's some really cool pieces of furniture. It's actually sitting over here at this table right over there. But this is really cool. Really unique light fixture too here. That's cool that they were able to turn it. And actually, I'm assuming you could probably just turn that regardless of which direction you want your table to be. That's kind of neat. That way you're not just stuck with it in one direction. But when I was in here earlier, I thought this light fixture here is so unique. Really cool. So as you might be able to tell outside, it is very cloudy. It was actually raining pretty hard earlier. We'd actually been in a bit of a drought the last month and a half or so. We'd had a really rainy summer and then it just dried up completely. So we had like the driest August through first half of September, I think on record. I mean, it was extremely dry. And then it's rained yesterday really hard and then was raining today really hard as well. I was out doing showings with a client yesterday and then was talking with another client, both of whom found me here on YouTube right after that. And at one point I had to pull over and kind of like park under the gas station covering just so I could hear them and they could hear me because it was raining so hard. But anyway, this is a really cool kitchen. I love how deep the island is, really nice countertop. And the under-mounted farmhouse sink looks stunning. Obviously, you know, from the kitchen here, you feel so much a part of the home. You got your dining area, you got your sunroom, your morning room, you've got your living room right here. Everything is right here, which is so nice. It's just a really beautiful kitchen. So they do have some incredible promotions going on right now. And I want to say about the promotions, I guess I'll mention them still in the video, but I want to highlight a little bit of something different about them, because, you know, if I just throw out numbers, you know, days on market or this interest rate, that doesn't necessarily translate and mean something to everyone. You know, some people, if they take a really close look at interest rates, maybe they know, hey, this is a really great deal, or this isn't a really great deal. But it's difficult often to understand what it exactly means. This is unique. They have windows over here and the windows over here. I'm kind of surprised at that. It's very interesting. Anyway, so nice little guest room here on the main level. Very cool. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about that later as well, because again, just mentioning, you know, here's what the interest rate is. That might mean something to someone, but it might not mean anything to someone else. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that does mean to you as far as actual savings in your pocket later in the video. So there I am here in person. I did not send my AI assistant to come film this. It's me. I am here. Love the fact that with this, so nice full bathroom for the guests, but it's a high sink. This is like, I am not ducking down. I'm 6'4", and I can touch it without leaning down, which is not always the case with bathroom sinks. Sometimes they are super low. So that is really great. Love it. So this would be your garage entry right there, but it is their sales office since it's the model home. So I won't open it up and show you around and the people working inside. It's like it's the Wizard of Oz in there. Oh, this is actually really nice. This is a big coat closet right by your garage entry. That way you can put all of your family's coats and whatnot right in there. Obviously put your bags down here in the drop zone. That is very, very nice. I hope you're enjoying the home tour so far. I just wanted to say welcome and thank you so much for watching. If we haven't met, my name is David DeLuey with Red One Realty, your Columbus, Ohio real estate agent. Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I put out a new video here on YouTube showing you model homes and new construction homes for sale. So if you want to learn more about living in Columbus, Ohio, or moving to Columbus, Ohio, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss my new show every week. If you're thinking about buying or building a new construction home and want to make sure that you have representation from someone who has your best interest in mind, make sure you reach out to me first before you go talk to any builders or go tour their homes. The great thing is it doesn't cost you anything extra to work with me as your realtor because the builders will compensate me and they don't give you a discount for not working with a real estate agent. I've got people just like you reaching out to me all the time who watch me here on YouTube, ask me to help them with their move to Columbus, Ohio, and I absolutely love it. You can send me a text, give me a call, send me an email, or my personal favorite, which is scheduling a time for a video call by scanning the QR code on the screen with your smartphone camera, or you can also find a link for it in the description. So whether you need help buying a home or selling a home here in Columbus, Ohio, I look forward to hearing from you soon. So we had nice high ceilings there in the basement, which is always good. I'm a huge fan of having high ceilings just because then it feels more spacious. It really does. It makes a huge difference when you have high ceilings versus lower ceilings, especially in the basement. So this shows you a little bit of what, different options they can do. You can do the banister like we have there, or you can get the half wall like we have here. So you can get wrought iron spindles, you might be able to get wood spindles, but this is just one of the options of what you can do, just so you can get an idea for it and get a feel for it. All right, what do we have upstairs? All right, very cool loft here. Very nice. this is great. I want to say, do you think this is the floor plan? They have an option in this floor plan to make an additional bedroom here, so to turn the loft into a bedroom. And I believe also, I don't think it's for this room, but they have an option of making this closet a little bit smaller and adding another bathroom over here. So the bathroom would take up this closet space right over here. But so if you like the idea of adding an additional bedroom, you can do that. This is a nice closet. And I love the view. I don't know why, I always think it's cool when the roofs are like the metal roof style. I always like looking out onto them for some reason. Not really sure why. But anyway, it is what it is. So nice bedroom here. And this is a pretty big bed set, and this is still a good space here. You got a big chair over there, got the big dresser right over there. But that is very nice, very, very nice. Of course, cool light fixture. So with this particular floor plan, how they have it set up right now, this is set up as a Jack and Jill bathroom. So a very nice tile for the shower and tub combo. And then that's a cool light fixture. I don't think I've seen that one yet. Oftentimes you see, when you see enough of the homes, like you start being like, oh yeah, I've seen that light fixture before. I have not seen that one, so that's cool. They're keeping it fresh. And speaking of keeping it fresh, if you go to their design center, if you're building a home with them, you get to go, now, maybe not in every single home. There are some homes where you don't get to go to the design center, but on the ones you do, you can go and pick out, light fixtures and bathroom finishes and doorknob handles and all that kind of stuff. So that's always fun when you get to choose those things. But this bedroom's a little bit smaller than the last one, but you still have a nice closet. I actually like the fact that with this one being the double door, they have it where it opens like a regular door rather than the sliding door. I know it can get in the way, but it means that you can also have it fully opened and not just partially opened, which is nice. All right, so here is your laundry room. Now, I don't want to run out of time to say it. So when I was talking with the director of sales earlier, we were talking about the promotions, and I was mentioning to him, something that he had shared about, which was the idea of what you save versus, just the rate itself. We were talking about it, and he mentioned something. He said, normally we see our biggest traffic right after the New Year, right after Christmas. And I told him, I was like, that's really interesting, because this year that we're in right now, in January, actually technically the Sunday or the Saturday after Christmas, so the first video I posted after Christmas, so many views. So, people were watching it a lot, tons of views on the channel. And that entire month of January, so many of you were watching my videos. And, same into early February, and then it started trailing off after that. But he said, that's when we get our most traffic, is in January. And so the reason why I'm telling you that is because their current promotion, as of right now, we're in September when I'm filming this, and I'll post it this week, but we're in September, and their current promotion for, their best promotion runs for spec homes that can close by the end of December. So anything that can close this year, you can qualify for that. But, if you are, that it doesn't mean the promotion is going to last through December. They could end the promotion tomorrow. They could end it next week. They could end it the week after that. They can end it next month. They don't have to extend the promotion. It's just right now, that's what the promotion is. And he said, because I asked him, I said, well, in January, let's say if that's when your traffic goes up a ton, could in theory you just say, oh yeah, well, the promotion's going to be 1% interest rate higher than it is right now, meaning you'd be paying more for the same home. He's like, oh, absolutely. Anything could happen as far as, what the higher ups that determine what the promotions are. They have the ability to go in and say, we can change that because it's based on the traffic and based on how many homes they're selling and whatnot. Very cool tile flooring in here. So I just thought that is a really good insight hopefully for you all, if you're thinking about, let me wait until the new year, I'm gonna see what happens then, see what happens over the next few months to see if I wanna potentially buy a home then. Let me tell you something, the promo they have right now is phenomenal. It's a 4.875% 30-year fixed rate, plus they're lowering your interest rate even more in the first 2 years. So it's not an ARM, it's not an adjustable rate mortgage, that's a fixed 4.875%. So that's significantly lower than what the typical market rate is right now. So I'm gonna throw up on the screen what your, I'm not gonna throw up, that was a bad choice of words, David. I'm gonna put on the screen the how much that will save you each month and each year. That way you can see what a difference it makes. But again, my word of caution to you is if you're waiting for rates to drop, if the builders are saying, we know that our traffic goes up in January, we're extremely busy in January, it's our busiest time of the year. Well, then that means if they're gonna be busy selling homes, they don't need to offer as many promotions. So my word to you would be this, they have a lot of homes available right now that are gonna be done by the end of the year. You might consider getting a home now rather than waiting, because if you wait, not only are prices continuing to increase, which they are, I've been telling you all about that a lot recently, how the prices are still going up, but in addition to that, the rates, the promotions might not really be there. So it might be you're paying more for the price of the home and you're paying more for your payment because you're not getting as good of a promotion. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about it, please, please, please contact me, because this is, if you're talking about, hey, we're trying to wait to save money, but if waiting actually ends up meaning you spend more money, obviously that's not good. So I want to make sure that you fully understand it. So make sure, again, reach out, get all the details. You can ask me questions. I can go back to them and make sure that, we can talk about what payments might be, things like that. You can get sample payments. They make it really easy, which is great. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. This is a really cool bathroom. I love the fact they had that tub there. Looks gorgeous. I love the big window. Obviously you might want to close it, when you're actually using the bath. But as far as just the natural light that's coming in under normal circumstances, it looks amazing. And here is the shower now. But anyway, so key is, summary, don't delay, because those rates, the promo rates that are so incredible right now, might not be there in a couple weeks or in a month or in 2 months. So now is potentially literally your best time as prices go up and the rates might not be as good as they are right now. Here is our next home. It is absolutely stunning on the exterior. I love the different wood accents they have, and those pillars for the front porch look beautiful as well. This is a home, I haven't shown you this floor plan in almost 2 years now. So they just don't build many of them. They don't build them like this anymore, right? No, it's just they don't build many of them because they don't build many of them. So really excited to get to show you this home today. I had just had the opportunity to show a few other homes by this builder maybe about a month ago now, 4 to 6 weeks ago. And it's just such a beautiful home. Loved it. And this neighborhood's nice. Look at the view, not the home all the way to the left there, but the home right across the street. Gorgeous, so nice. So we've got a beautiful study here in the front of the home. And it's literally raining. It was raining pretty hard a few minutes ago, but it's raining outside and the sprinklers are going. And yet it's still nice and bright in here, even though it's completely cloudy outside. So I love the fact that they actually have good lighting in here. Because sometimes if you have a home that has bad lighting, it's just tough. Feels like it's always dark in there. So right over here, again, this is off of kind of the front entryway. Here's your powder room, a nice pedestal sink. And then right behind me over here is a coat closet. So I like the fact what they've done with the door styling, like it just kind of gives it an elevated look, as it should, right? So very, very nice. And then we come in here to the living room, which feels absolutely massive. You know, so from where I am here, you know, I know technically, obviously, you're not going to put furniture on the stairs, but from where this wall is right here, all the way over there, that is absolutely huge. So there is so much space in here. And you have the huge picture windows also. And I'm gonna back up all the way over to where the corner is of the kitchen countertops. But so you have these absolutely so high ceilings, right? It is so nice. You have the huge picture windows. And cool thing too, you don't have a home directly behind you. So you got a pretty good sized yard, and then you can kind of see where the grass changes back there. And then they have that green space where those trees are planted, and then an additional green space, and then you have the homes that are back over there as well. But this is really, really nice. I know I had shown, I can't remember how long ago now, it was probably during the winter time, so it might have been 9 months ago, I had shown you all a home just down the street from this one. So in this very section, on this very street. But I'm super happy to be able to have another opportunity to show you a home here, because oftentimes when homes are completed like this, they go fast. But I love how the stairs look there. That looks so nice. So once they're completed like this, they sell fast. So oftentimes I don't get the chance to show you some of the nicer homes just because they might even sell before they get completed like this. But anyway, very, very cool. You know, I was with a couple clients who were visiting from out of town the last couple of days, showing them homes. And one question that they asked was, you know, why do some of these new homes, why are they on the market for so long? Which is a great question. And so actually right before I came here to film this home, so here's your pantry, very long pantry, kind of narrow, but very long pantry. I was just in a kind of like a class or seminar with one of the builders here that opened that model home that we were just in. And they were talking about that, and they said for them personally, because they were talking about days on market and the market update and whatnot. And let me actually come over here first. They were saying, you know, we kind of contribute to the days on market being a little bit higher because we typically put our homes on the MLS as soon as they're framed. So just the wood behind the walls. And so just to give you an idea, and that's what I had mentioned to my client was, you know, they'll put them on the market well before they are completed. So here's your main level laundry room. But oftentimes, I don't know if you've ever seen a home where it doesn't even have the walls up yet. It doesn't have the drywall, it just has the framing. It's so difficult to understand what it's gonna look like when you can't really see it. So here's a little mudroom area right here and the garage entryway. And so basically they were, you know, kind of apologizing in a sense that like, yeah, I mean, technically speaking, we're contributing to the fact that the days on market are where they are at just because we are putting our homes on the market as soon as they're framed, and they might not be finished getting built for another 90 days, 120 days to where it actually looks completed. And that's the time when they're typically most likely going to sell because, again, someone can come in and look at it like this and see, wow, this is beautiful. Which, speaking of beautiful, this island and this countertop is gorgeous. I don't know if you can see it quite as well because of the glare from the lights, but it looks stunning. And one of the features, again, that I've noticed with this builder, this is the only builder I've seen do it so far, they do this little, oh, it didn't pop up for me. There we go. They do this little outlet pop up on the island. This is the only builder that I've seen do it so far, because in Ohio, the building code now means that you cannot have the outlets on the side of the island. Because let's say you put a crock pot up on top, a child could come pull on the cord, pull it off, get injured. So that's why they don't allow it anymore. But you have some very, very nice finishes in this home. So island facing to your dining area right here. And then of course, to your living room. This tile that they have for the backsplash looks incredible. Really nice. Let me turn this light on here. There we go. Look at that. Very nice. And of course, I didn't even pay attention to the fact that they have space over here if you want to put a little beverage fridge. That's awesome. That's something you don't typically see in a home around this price point. You know, maybe you see it in a true custom home, but I don't feel like you see it in this home, this type of a home very often, to where you actually get that drink fridge in here. And you know, I saw this, I had to come in and get the lights turned on. I saw this and I thought, what exactly is it? Is this like meant to be kind of like a pocket office? I mean, you have this cool arched entryway into it. I wasn't sure what to think about this. Like, part of me feels like, was this an option that they decided where this could have been a doorway? So like a butler's pantry, actually, is what I think it probably is intended to be. But where would have been a doorway there to go into what could have been a dining room. You know, instead they closed it off as a study, which is why you had the doors on it. But because otherwise that doorway could have just come in that corner over there. So this could have been a dining room. Very interesting. Anyway, so let's go. I think we saw everything down here on this main level. So let's head on down to the basement next. So the August housing report just came out this week, so I wanted to share with you the details of the Dublin City School District. So the number of closed sales went up from 99 last year in this month to 118 this month. So a lot more sales. Number of in contracts was just about the same, only one less than it was last year, which is 104 for this year now. Now the average sale price was up 5.5% to about $584,000. And the median sale price was up about 2% to just under $540,000. The average price per square foot is right around $250 per square foot, which is up about 4% compared to last year. Now, days on market until sale actually decreased from 25 days last year to only 21 days this year. And number of new listings also declined from 133 last year to 107 this year. And then the inventory of homes for sale increased from 160 last year to 179 this year. But the month supply of inventory, because the number of closed sales was up, it's actually stayed the same at 2 months supply of inventory for sale. So as far as year-to-date numbers, I always like going over these. So the average sale price year-to-date compared to last year year-to-date is up 7% to $626,000. That's up from $584,000 last year. And the median sale price year-to-date is up from $540,000 last year up to $595,000 this year. So we're almost pushing $600,000 for that median sale price for the entire year so far. So I would still say, based on these figures, the Dublin market, obviously it's still appreciating quite a bit. It's still strong. It's a seller's market still with only 2 months supply of inventory. But as always, if you have any questions about these stats or about any particular area, feel free to contact me to ask me those questions. All right, again, I love what they did here with the stairs. So nice looking. I can't figure out what else to say about it. It's just beautiful. This is such a great view. Even right from here, you don't even need to be all the way up at the top, because this just looks so nice. Again, I love the big picture windows over there for the great room. They are so nice. So you have a nice little landing here. Obviously you can see down to the front door. You also have a nice window right over there. Of course, I want to make sure you get to see the view all the way down too. So you can see into the dining area, into the kitchen. Really cool. So if this home wasn't big enough, you also have a loft. So nice. And it's a pretty spacious loft too. You know, obviously you're probably not going to want to put things from here over, so you can leave that open, but it's a really good sized space right there. All right, let's see what we got up here. So we have our first bedroom, which is a really good size. Let me close this door a little bit so you can see around it. This is kind of unique. This window is a smaller window and down low versus, you know, the typical size window at the normal height. That's kind of interesting. It all goes into that exterior elevation. The things you don't think about when you're, you know, making the outside of the house look a certain way, but it's like, oh, well, what does that make it look like on the inside? But definitely gives the room some character. And a nice walk-in closet. And then over here is our second bedroom. Again, good sized room. Very nice. I like having the little bump out area over there. Maybe a good place to put a desk or something, or a dresser. And it's kind of nice too, they have outlets on either side. So if you do need to plug something in, you have the opportunity to do so. So this builder often has closets like this where you might think, David, that's incredibly tiny, but you also have space over there. So you can step into the closet and, you know, maybe you put things on the ground over here and on the ground over there. So kind of nice, kind of unique. Obviously it's a little bit different. I prefer having a door like this over the sliding doors where like you always have something blocking part of the closet. That's kind of like an annoying feature to me. So I like that style. And then here's our hall bathroom upstairs. Nice dual vanity. I'm a little surprised they didn't do, you know, tile in the shower in here, but and maybe because it's easier to clean, that's a benefit. And then over here, we've got our linen closet. I guess it doesn't have to be a linen closet, it's just a closet for storage too. And down a little hallway over here to get to this room. This again feels pretty big. Now part of it's because of the fact that you walk down a hallway this way, then you got a little bit of hallway this way, and then you still have to turn the corner here to get into the actual room area. And kind of nice about it, there's, you know, because the closet is over there, you don't have any doors in the room other than, you know, the doorway that's getting you in here. So that's really nice. You just have that one window over there. You know, if you wanted to put a bed there, you can. If you wanted to put a bed over here, you can. If you wanted to put a bed on this wall, you can. And if you wanted to put a bed right here, also, you can. So that's really great, the flexibility you have in this room, because oftentimes, you know, the closet gets in the way, especially if it's one of those with the double doors that you have to slide open. It takes up that whole wall, and then you lose flexibility for how you can arrange your furniture in a room. But this is nice and has a great view of the backyard and beyond. Very cool. I know I mentioned earlier having the clients that I was showing homes to this weekend. By the way, I absolutely love that. That's why I do this channel. So if you're in the market for buying a home or selling a home, here in the Columbus, Ohio area, I would absolutely love to hear from you. That's why I do these videos, is to connect with great people like you. Absolutely love to get to meet with clients. You guys are phenomenal. And that's the best part of my job, is getting to meet with great people and help them to buy or sell a home. And I'm excited. I have a different client was texting me this morning pictures of their home. It got all cleaned out and cleaned up, as far as like they moved out and got the home cleaned and painted. So it's getting staged. I forget what day we are now. It's getting staged in a couple days, later this week. And then it will go on the market very soon as well. So I get to work with the best people, so love it. All right, so we got to go see the primary bedroom now. So we have this, I showed it, but I didn't say anything about it. We've got a little archway here, got a thermostat here. And again, we got a turn. That's kind of a theme in this home. We got our own little private hallway here, but I like it. That way you're not looking straight into the room from the main area. And you do have nice high ceilings in here, so you do still have 9-foot ceilings. Good sized room. Almost kind of like a square shape. I know a lot of times, primary bedrooms or in general will get to be more of like a rectangle shape. But this one feels more of a square. So kind of gives the overall feeling of having a lot of space. Two really nice big windows there on the back. Again, just like it's been a theme kind of throughout the home, there's plenty of light in here, which I really like. So here is our double door entry into the primary bathroom. There's your favorite real estate agent being visible in the mirror. And now in this home, I would imagine, so my client saw a home by this builder that had a similar type of layout where there was just blank space, there wasn't a tub. They did say in that case, it was already plumbed to be able to put a tub there. So I would imagine it would be the same with this one. So if you wanted to add a tub, they have recommended vendors that they can tell you, hey, here's people that, know what we're doing and whatnot. And that way you could add a tub if you were wanting to get a tub. Oh, here we go. I was not anticipating. I did not walk through here before. This is a really good closet. Yes. Okay. I was forgetting, because it's been so long since I've been in this floor plan, that it is the closet that never ends. You know that song, this is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. There's the sprinkler, even though it's raining. Actually, it looks like it might have stopped raining. It still looks like it's raining though. But this is a great closet, man. It's so much natural light. You got the two windows here. You have the window over there. I mean, this is just such a gorgeous neighborhood. This is in Jerome Village, but it's a specific sub neighborhood within Jerome Village. If you're not familiar with it, there might be, I don't even know how many, there might be 20 or 30 or 40 different kind of sub neighborhoods within the greater Jerome Village area. And so this is just this one street with the cul-de-sac at the end of it. So it's a very, very small individual neighborhood, but very nice. All right, so next we got to look at the shower. I didn't even pay attention to the fact you do have a transom window there. Just natural light everywhere. I love it. So here is the shower. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do like the black frame on it. That I feel like that would have looked really nice, considering they have the black doors in the home. But they went with chrome. That's okay. I am still a fan of this tile. It looks like the same tile that they used in the kitchen for the backsplash. Just in the kitchen, it was the herringbone pattern. And then check out this tile that they have on the floor. That is so cool. So it's like penny rounds, but in a very cool pattern. I don't know if they had to do that by hand. I don't see any, it's not like it's a big tile that I can tell, at least. That is super cool. If you like this video, make sure to check out this video right here, or you can see the one that YouTube thinks you're like right over here. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next week.